Vasadeko Bhakta Vrindavan.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrindavan.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrindavan.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrindavan.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrindavan.
Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol Nitai Gaur,
Nitai go Haribo, Haribo, Nitai go, 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 Nitai go Haribo,
Haribo, Nitai go, Nitai go Haribo, Haribo, Nitai go, Nitai go Haribo,
Haribo, Nitai go, Nitai go Haribo, Haribo, Nitai go, Nitai go Haribo,
Haribo, Nitai go, Nitai go Haribo, Haribo, Nitai go, Nitai go
Haribol, everyone. Can I have a Haribol? A little bit louder. Haribol. One more time. That's more like it. Thank you so much. So welcome to our Sunday Kirtan program. It's all about the Kirtan, as they say. And Kirtan and the chanting of the holy names of the Supreme are our safe harbour from the storms of life. So we're here in this safe harbour of the holy names. So please take shelter in this safe harbour. So we have Ashraya, Madhulila, myself, Kalindi, Wayne and Nitai are here to provide that safe harbour.
There's one behind us.
I don't see the guy to my left. There's also Jug. Jug is also helping. We always have to leave him out. It wouldn't be right if we praised him or said good things about him. So we're going to have a nice guided relaxation meditation now. And then we continue with our kirtan for a couple of hours. All right. So this one, if you like, can really nicely enter into a relaxation. If you want to close your eyes, you can. And for those of you who are at home, and actually sometimes, there might even be enough room here. If anyone wants to lie down to relax, you can. So we'll spend this next couple of hours here by putting aside all the problems that life can bring to us and immersing ourselves fully in this transcendental journey of kirtan. So if the mind wants to intrude in this experience, we just ignore it. We don't fight with the mind wanting to take us on some kind of other journey. We just come back to focus on our spiritual life, the benefit of this spiritual journey. So let's begin with simple breath awareness, bringing the mind off of all other thoughts and just focusing in on that nice, natural, gentle rhythm of your breath. And sometimes it helps to take 2 or 3 nice, long, deep inhalations and nice, long, deep exhalations. You can actually sigh on the exhalation, and this helps us to let go of things which the body and mind are holding. As we find our breath slowing down a little and becoming a little deeper, we allow the breath to bring about a nice state of relaxation of the body. So with each inward breath, we feel that rejuvenating breath, that expansion of the whole body with each inward breath. And we become consciously aware of the softening and relaxation with each subsequent outward breath. We can scan through our body and see if we're holding tension in some area. So directing the inward breath to the shoulders or the arms, the face, the front of the body, the back of the body, and then with the outward breath, consciously letting go, softening, relaxing. We also want to bring relief from the mind, which can also be full of tension and worries, problems, hassles. We can do this, first of all, by stepping back from the stream of thoughts which are passing through the mind and coming to realize, to understand that we are not our mind. We are not the thoughts which are constantly moving through the mind. And therefore we don't need to be swept away by the weather of the mind. There is a very simple meditation that helps us to come to this platform of realization. If you like, you can mentally repeat after me this following meditation. I am the silent witness. I make no effort to think, but thoughts come automatically. I am watching thoughts flow through my mind. I am aloof from them. I am the silent witness of my mind's activities. Although we understand that the mind can be a cause of great hassles, distress, problems, the mind also is a valuable tool for us, the living being. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains how the mind can be the Atma, the living being's worst enemy, or the living being's best friend. So now let us make friends with the mind. Let us bring peace and calmness to the mind by helping it to meditate on transcendental sound, on mantra. So the mind, the body, the self, the Atma who is within the body and mind can find transcendental peace in this transcendental sound of the Gauranga mantra. So we're going to harmonize our breathing, and then starting on the third outward breath, we add the mantra Gauranga. As we're saying the mantra aloud, we are listening, resting the mind, engaging the mind in this positive spiritual practice. And we, the Atma, the eternal self within this body, find shelter in this safe harbor of transcendental sound. Let us inhale together. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhalation, nice and deep. more time. glad you came. So far, so good. Great. Okay, so we're going to have a little bit of time now just to share some yoga wisdom. And today's topic is the safe harbour from the storms of life. Anyone been through any storms in their life other than the current one? Okay, you might be able to relate to this. And we want to speak specifically about where that safe harbour from these storms are. So before speaking, I'd like to take a moment to offer my deep respects and gratitude to my spiritual teacher, Jagat Guru Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa, to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and to Shri Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in this world, it doesn't matter who we are, what country we're from, what our age is, what our marital status, what our socio-economic background is, every single one of us experiences the stormy seas of life. Is that true? Has anyone ever had complete and total calm sailing from the day they were born until this present moment? There has been no storms in their life. Can anyone make such a claim? I don't think so. So these, sometimes, in the journey of life, the weather is calm, things are going relatively okay. You had that kind of time in your life when you thought, yeah, things are okay. Things are going not too bad. And, during those times, we kind of don't feel that we need to seek out any safe port or any shelter in our life. We're happy with how things, are kind of cruising along. It's relatively smooth. But then, a little bit of wind kind of picks up a little bit. You notice that? You might be out and about and it started out as a nice day and sunny and just about the right temperature and, we're kind of cruising along, enjoying ourselves, and then kind of out of nowhere a dark cloud kind of shows up and the wind picks up a little bit and, maybe even a little bit of rain starts coming. You never experienced that? Initially it's like, it's not too bad. It's a sun shower. Is that what they call them? Sun shower? It's not a storm. It's just a sun shower. It's kind of actually quite pleasant. This is in other words, we're getting a little bit of flack in our life, but it's nothing we can't handle. We can kind of cruise through it. And then maybe, we keep going and it starts to get a little windier. Starts to get a little bit, the rain is getting a little bit heavy, a little bit heavier than it was, just a few, sun sprinkles. So we seek a little bit of shelter from that. What kind of shelter do we seek when the rain gets just a little bit too heavy just to hang out in, but nothing major? What do we do to get shelter from that kind of rain? Umbrella. Yeah, just an umbrella, or there might be a little bit of a tree nearby, so we're going to pop up the umbrella and, that's all okay. But then it kind of gets a little bit heavier than an umbrella can deal with. So we start kind of looking around for a bigger tree. If we're under some little tree, we start looking around for a bigger tree, or maybe even a building. Quite a. If you're at the beach or somewhere like here on. The reason we bring this up is, we're here on the Gold Coast in Australia. For those who are, watching on, on the internet, and maybe for those here who are not sure where they are, we're actually here on the Gold Coast. And there's been a severe weather warning we have here. And last night it was pretty wild. This morning it was pretty crazy. If you walk around outside, you'll see, some trees have been blown down and there's kind of stuff all over the footpath on the road. And, we're getting warnings, people are getting stuck in flooding water and things like that. So we have a severe weather warning kind of happening here. So a lot of people are staying at home, they're not going on the road, they might not be going out to the restaurant or something. So, when it's really kind of quite dangerous. So in our life, there is varying degrees of weather, is the point that I was kind of bringing up. You know, sometimes just something annoying, like someone, you know, cuts us off in the traffic, or we stub our toe, or, you know, something happens. This is the lighter storms of life. But then as things get a little heavier, you know, and this can be anything from our body, the storms of life can affect our body. You know, it can be anything, again, from a stubbed toe, which is annoying, to, you know, a bit of a sore neck because we've been kind of, you know, stuck on our device a bit, and then for about 6 hours, and then we kind of look up, you know, and the neck all of a sudden kind of spasms, so we've got a bit of a sore neck. You know, this is a little bit heavier kind of, you know, weather in our life, all the way through to, you know, some kind of bad back or some other kind of problem, you know, everything from a flu to, you know, I don't know what, up to the other end, like cancer or something like that. So these are storms that we experience in life, in our journey through life, in connection, you know, with our body. Simple ones up to quite serious, heavy-duty tsunamis of storms in connection with our physical body. So according to what they are, the degree of the storm, we kind of seek shelter in different ways. Like, you know, maybe there's also emotional storms, and I'm sure each one of us can relate to the different emotional storms that come. The mind, in other words, it's in connection with the mind. You know, the mind is sometimes hassling us in a small way, and sometimes the mind is hassling us in a huge way. It's just the thoughts and feelings and desires and problems and the distresses of life are there in the mind, and it sweeps us away. You know, just like, you know, in the storm, you know, we're always getting these warnings. Don't cross if it looks really fast. It could be deeper than you think. Don't try to cross over this particular crossing because it may sweep you away. You hear about those warnings? And what do we hear? What happens every single time we have severe storm warnings? And that's part of the warning. We always see in the news that a whole bunch of people didn't follow the advice and they get swept, their car or themselves get swept away because they didn't follow that advice. Is that, you know what I'm talking about? I'm sure this is a universal thing all around the world. So then when you kind of even expand it a bit more, what other area of life are there storms? There's the body, which can hassle us. There's the mind, which certainly hassles us. Even if everything is going well in life and our body is relatively okay compared to when it's completely shitty, you know, it's a relative thing. So we've got, you know, we're doing our yoga, we're doing our tai chi, you know, we're going to the gym, we're, you know, taking our green smoothies, we're doing all the right stuff, we're avoiding sugar, all the good things. But then the mind does not let, yeah, what about this? What about that? This problem, that problem. So the mind is the stormy weather. But let's say, you know, we're practicing our positive thinking and we're doing our relaxation, our meditation maybe, some form of meditation. What other area of life are there storms? Come on, I want someone here to actually say something. What other area have we experienced there are storms in life? From mellow, you know, it's not too bad storms, to major, you know, cyclones. That's the one. If you didn't hear that, it's called relationships. Anyone here have a relationship? Every single one of us has a relationship. Relationships. Now, whether it be a significant other, or whether it be, you know, if we are a child, it means we have parents, usually. If we're parents, we may have children. And if we don't have any of these things, we have work colleagues, we have friends, neighbours. We have people across the street, people next door to us, people downstairs from us, perhaps. That's a bit personal there. I'm relating a personal life experience, a lived experience, as they say. So sometimes things are going okay, but because each one of those individuals is also going through their storms of life, both physically, mentally, you know, emotionally, career, etc., etc. And because we're connected to them, we also become affected by their storms. Do you understand what I'm saying? And these are the positive relationships we have. significant others, parents, children, friends, etc. My spiritual teacher uses the example of being like, it's like if someone has touched a bare wire, how also in, severe storms, the wires come down and we're warned, don't go near them, don't touch them. But maybe someone's touched them and they're getting zapped, they're getting electrocuted. And we come up and grab their hand. In other words, we connect to them. Then whatever they're going through also goes through us. Do you understand what I'm saying? So whatever our relationships are and whoever we're connected to, we also have to deal with their storms in life. Is that true or not true? Does anyone understand what I'm talking about? Does anyone have any relationships? So in other words, actually, constantly, we're having to deal with these various storms in life. So where do we seek shelter from these storms? Where do we seek shelter? And let's start off with, things aren't going too bad. Well, we don't kind of seek shelter. Things are in these areas in life are temporarily smooth. As we know, that doesn't last. The weather is always changing, both externally in the weather and the weather of our body and our mind and our relationships and all the things connected to that. But when things get a little bit, rainy, we pull out the umbrella and for shelter. So what is the umbrella we pull out in life when there's storms beginning to kind of brew and come into our life? What kind of umbrellas do we pull up to find shelter? Alcohol? That's usually a little further down the track. This is before the alcohol. Facebook. Facebook is one of the umbrellas. We won't say who said that. No, we won't name and shame who immediately came to alcohol. For most of us, that's further down the track. Alcohol and drugs is usually last resort, not first. But anyway, so the umbrella we start with is Facebook, social media, Netflix, and someone correctly said chocolate. Chocolate is an umbrella that most of us turn to fairly quickly. When there's a few little kind of drops coming down, a bit of chocolate. Or something, what they call comfort food, right? Comfort food. We walk to the fridge, open the door, and we're looking inside for an umbrella. Right? We open the cupboard, and there's no umbrella there. In other words, there's no Tim Tams, there's no, something or other, so we kind of look elsewhere. So as things get a little heavier, this is when we usually turn to binge watching Netflix series of this or that, or binge movies, or binge gaming. Gaming is actually probably right up there with alcohol. I'm talking about people who just game for 12, 14 hours at a time. It's actually a drug. People actually become addicted to that, and they get withdrawal symptoms when they're unable to have a fix. So anyway, the idea is, I don't need to kind of go into huge length about these. Everybody can relate to what I'm talking about. And then, of course, we come to the things like alcohol, drugs, various kinds of ways to forget. In other words, it's a bigger kind of shelter we're getting from that. The shelter is actually forgetfulness. That's what alcohol and drugs, and even binge watching Netflix. This is actually a type of shelter which you can call forgetfulness, trying to forget my problems, that the storm is actually happening. In other words, it's going into denial. No, it's not raining. It's fun as I game and shoot and kill and get to the next level and watch the next thing after the next thing after the next episode, whatever it might be. It's a distraction from the storm. We think it is shelter, but actually all it is a distraction. The person is actually out in the weather and they're getting beaten by the wind and the rain, but actually they're in denial of that reality. And then the ultimate umbrella, so to speak, or the ultimate shelter, not the ultimate, I'm talking materially here. One of the places where people try to find shelter from the storms of life is even worse than drugs and alcohol. Does anyone know what I might be talking about? Anyone? What's even further down the track than heroin or alcoholism? Yes, suicide. This is also an attempt by a person trying to find relief or shelter from the major tsunami that they're experiencing in their life. So whether someone is of this particular socio-economic background, this sex, this age, this marital status, this from this country or that country, whatever the external situation might be for any of us, we all are seeking shelter in these various ways. But what we do experience is that it actually doesn't bring me shelter. All of these things are just a distraction, a temporary glossing over of the problem. It could be described as like putting a Band-Aid on a major wound. You know, according to the size of the wound, a Band-Aid might give a bit of comfort, but if it's actually a major infection or something like that, then simply putting a bandage on it is actually not the right solution. We actually need to go and, you know, get treated by someone who can actually help me overcome that, you know, that wound, you know, that infection or that cancer or whatever, you know, however bad the storm is. So what we're talking about is here, this practice, this inner journey, these spiritual practices, spiritual life, this inner life makes it so that I can actually live in this world but not be touched by the anxieties, the worries and the concerns and the problems and the tsunamis of the external world. You know, sometimes you see in yoga the symbol of a lotus flower is used, right? You ever seen that? Yoga studios, meditation things have a lotus flower. So what is the symbology of that? Why do they use a lotus flower? Because if you see, you know, particularly in different Asian countries, there are a lot of ponds and, you know, of lotus flowers. They're amazing. I've seen some amazing, you know, lotus ponds. But the actual lotus flower grows above the water, high above the water. So even if the water might be very polluted and muddy, thick and putrid, the lotus flower is not touched by the water, because while being in the water, it is factually not in the water, it is above the water. Right? Anyone understand what I'm talking about? And similarly, Christ speaks about being in the world, but not of the world, not being touched by the world. And this can be compared to being in a very safe harbour, a very safe shelter. If the house, the place where we're taking shelter in, can withstand even the greatest cyclone, then we can actually be in the middle of this cyclone. It is happening all around us, but we are able to look out and see it from this safe place. Is that understandable? This is not just a flimsy umbrella that easily gets turned inside out. It's not just a little tree that can easily get blown down or a branch falling down on top of me. It's not a little beach shelter, you know. This is actually being purpose-built to withstand the greatest storms of life. So through our spiritual practice, specifically by taking shelter in the Supreme Soul, this relationship, taking this shelter, is the actual safe harbour from the storms of life, whether they be the simple ones or the greatest, which, like I said, is in connection usually with relationships. It's in connection with the health of the body, the nature of the health of the mind, you know, which can actually drive people to try to get relief by killing their body in the form of suicide. This safe harbour of our relationship, our inner life, our relationship with the Supreme, is that unassailable safe harbour where no matter what may be happening outside, we are completely safe, we have complete shelter, and we have no worries at all. Is that at least theoretically understandable? So these holy names of the Supreme, these transcendental sounds that we are singing, are chanting, are meditating on, whether it be in the form of, say, the breath, Gauranga breathing meditation, in the form of what is known as japa meditation, with the japa mala, where we keep track of chanting or meditating on the holy names of the divine through japamala beads, even more specifically in the form of kirtan. This is where we can find shelter from all of the storms of life. And this is why we're doing it. So what I want to finish with is actually to read a little bit from a talk that my spiritual master gave on this topic of the safe harbour, finding shelter from the storms of life, because he is saying it much nicer and clearer than I would be able to. So let me just also say for the people here as well as those who may be watching online, when we say Krishna, when we chant Krishna, Rama, Gopala, Govinda, please understand we are not speaking of a Hindu god or a particular sectarian idea of the Supreme. Krishna is one of the many unlimited names of that one Supreme Soul. Krishna means the all-attractive, the all-beautiful. So Krishna is one of the unlimited names of that one Supreme Being. So it is not like we're speaking of Krishna as being a Hindu god who is different from, the Muslim god, who again is different from the Christian god. There is only one original cause of all causes. And that original cause, the Supreme Soul or God, has many unlimited names. And Krishna is a very beautiful name of that one Supreme Being, that one Supreme Soul. So let me read this, and then we can actually come back to our shelter. I might need my glasses. As soon as you become aware that there are storms brewing, or I'm in a storm, then immediately let me take shelter in Krishna. Let me take shelter in Krishna. And when things are calm, sometimes we forget Krishna. It means our relationship with the Supreme. When things are going well, we think, we don't need Krishna, I'm happy. Everything's going well, the weather's nice. Might go for a swim, everything's going well. My business is going well, family is going well, everything is going well. My health is good. So we don't need Krishna then. So we have a tendency to forget Krishna during these good weather times. The saintly teachers, the acharyas, actually beg us, my dear friend, whether things are going well in your life or things are a little rough, or things are very rough and you're in a big storm, chant these names of Krishna. Take shelter in Krishna. Take shelter in Krishna's names. Krishna's names are the port, the safe harbour from the storms. We're all like in storms all the time. If the boat is on the sea and there's a storm, there is no safe harbour. They're looking. Where is the safe harbour? Is there an island nearby? Is there land somewhere? Somewhere I can go into a safe harbour where I'm not being buffeted around and knocked around and overwhelmed by all of these swells of the ocean? Krishna's names are that moving, portable harbour, that safe harbour. We're cruising along in life. Things get a little rough. Take shelter in the safe harbour. It's like a portable safe harbour you have with you while you are travelling. It's not like you have to go far away. So where is that safe harbour? I don't see land anywhere, You ever seen those, those kind of movies where they have these boats and they're in the sea and they ran out of gas, or their sail is broken, or there are pirates or something, it's falling apart, and they're looking for a safe harbour. There is a magical safe harbour you take with you. It's like you're cruising along in the ocean. It's kind of like, you're just an ordinary person cruising through life. I'm just like everybody else in life, and everything's going up and down. We're just ordinary people. The only difference is that you've got this magical, special harbour with you everywhere you go. It's kind of like this secure shelter. It's a secure shelter. but it's kind of like a child who, you know, is feeling really brave and is going to walk to one end of the carnival, to the other end of the carnival. And that's what this world is like, a giant crazy carnival with, you know, Ferris wheels and fun and cotton candy and all kinds of good stuff, along with robbers and killers and thieves. So you're walking across, you know, holding Daddy's hand. Oh yeah, I'm like everybody else. If anything else happens to me, immediately, oh, you're protected, you have shelter, you know, you have a safe port, your parent. So you have Krishna as your shelter all the time. It's not like Krishna needs you, but Krishna loves you and wants you to know, I am here. He wants you to know that he is your dearmost friend. Krishna is the shelter. Krishna is your companion. If you keep him as your companion constantly, Krishna is his name. He's your companion, always. Then, whether things are smooth, things are going well, or things are not going well, you'll always have Krishna as your shelter. We tend to forget this. We forget during the good times. We forget because things are going well. And at bad times we think we have to solve the problem. I have to get myself out of this problem. And after I do that, then I will take shelter in Krishna's names. It's like this. So we're always forgetting our relationship with the Supreme. We're forgetting that Krishna is our best friend, that Krishna is our shelter. But he is always there. Sometimes things go well and sometimes things are rough. Sometimes we're facing death itself and we have no control over our existence. But Krishna is always there. Krishna is our best friend. Krishna is our shelter. So while things are going well or things are not going so well, when things are smooth or when they are rough, we need to have this determination, patience, faith, that we take shelter in Krishna, regardless of our situation. Things are always changing. Things are always going up and down in life. So we need to make this our habit of taking shelter in the holy names of the Supreme. So now we know. We actually know we're that safe harbour when things are going well, or things are going a little bit unwell, or things are going shockingly bad. We don't have to sort it out or find the solution ourselves to overcome these storms. We have the shelter, as he was saying, this portable, perfect spiritual shelter wherever we may go in transcendental sound. So let us continue. Let us stay in this shelter. Thank you very much. Alrighty.
So I heard that dancing is allowed indoors in Queensland starting tomorrow.
We can time travel.
But, you know, I figured we could at least stand and sway if we want to.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
nice melodic shelter, safe harbour.
If you're up to.
Just going to mute this. Everybody doing okay? Yeah? It's a little bit slightly quiet tonight. It was a little bit just, huh? It's a mellow night. Yeah, it's a mellow evening. All right. Let us try this one. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hari Bol time. You don't need that. It's really high ceiling.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai go, Nitai go, Haribo, Haribo, Nitai go, Nitai go, Haribo.
Thank you very much.
Gopala, Govinda Rama, Marana, Mohana, Gopala, Govinda Rama, Marana, Mohana. Govinda Rama, Marana, Mohana. should chant the holy names of the Lord in a humble state of mind, feeling oneself to be lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, ready to offer all dispense to others in such a state of mind. One can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Namaste, Narashrikaya. Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namani Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Thank you all so much, very much, our friends here and those who are watching online.
Our last Friday Kirtan is next Friday, and our Christmas celebration, which is also our last Sunday Kirtan, is next Sunday. We're actually not exactly totally sure where it's going to be.
I am. It'll be on the Gold Coast. I know for sure it will be on the Gold Coast.
Great. We had hired Nerang Country Paradise Parklands under the big trees. Supposedly it may still be raining next Sunday. We're not actually sure, and also it floods there when it rains. So it's actually, if you were planning on coming to yoga on Monday, we had to cancel it because you can't get in across the little
Paradise Parklands.
Yeah,
the other
Paradise
yoga
Parklands.
here is still
still fine. Yeah, it's just at Nerang. Our venue there gets flooded when it rains, so we're not sure about Sunday, but we will have some dry weather alternatives. We're looking at Carrara.
Some wet weather alternatives.
Right. Dry out of the weather alternatives. That's what I was trying to say. We're looking at Carrara, and we're looking at we do have a undercover part of Nerang that we can use, So we're going to be somewhere, but keep your eye on social media and on your emails because we'll let you all know.
It will definitely happen, 100%. Christmas will go ahead.
Indoors or outdoors, we're not sure.
And Friday will definitely be here this coming Friday, so you can all come. And my advice is just come in to the shelter, come into the safe harbour as often as you're able. So we'd like to see Friday here so packed, that safely packed, but we'd like to see it packed because it's the last Friday for this year. And then the Sunday, we hope to see you all on Sunday, wherever it may be. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye-bye. And if you do